we're gonna do a basic 1 length cut today. I'm gonna cut this very short so you can see, but you can do this long, medium, or short like the one I'm gonna do. The technique is the same no matter what length it is. To start, the hair needs to be wet and we're gonna brush it back. Then you're gonna take your hand and kind of bounce it up like this. This will show you where the hair's natural part line is, where it always wants to go. You can see hers is right about here. You may have to straighten it up a bit, but comb that into place. Now to section this off, take the comb, place it here on the head. See where it's balancing? You can put your finger here at the bottom where the comb should land. This is gonna be section 1. Most of the time it lands right behind the ear. So now we wanna make a rainbow. See that? You can follow that line or do the comb trick again. The comb balances here, put my finger there. Now we have section 2. In the back, it's gonna go straight down the middle. But remember in the front, you're using the natural part. I'm doing a terrible job at this, but this is her natural part. So it's to the side. We're not gonna follow this to the side like this. It's gonna go straight down the middle. Find the middle in the back of the neck, put your finger there, and bring the comb to it. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4. Natural part line, straight down the middle in the back. Sorry, I have marker all over my hands, but now we're gonna create the first section, which will be our guide, using the width of the comb twice. We're taking horizontal, parallel to the floor, subsections. This is the only time we're gonna take a large section like this, or subsection. The width of the comb is here to here. That's 1, we're gonna do it twice. This is 2. The reason for that is because the hairline, it's very skinny here and then gets wider. Horizontal subsection, so straight across, clip that up. We're gonna connect the line, just like that, on the other side. So you can put your finger, draw the line. We're gonna cut this according to its natural fall. That means we're not gonna do the crab claws where we're holding tension. Comb here, scissors behind, and you're gliding this down. There's no tension, there's no over direction. It's not over here like this, that creates a stack or a layer, graduation. You're cutting parallel to the floor, so she should be facing forward. Here we go, comb in here, closed, these are closed, to guide the comb down, straight. Now we're going to cut our guide. Hopefully you can see this, straight. So you can see we have a straight, blunt line. Now we're getting into the round of the head. The head is like a beach ball, it's going to curve. So we don't want to bring the hair back like this and match it to that line because we're over directing this hair. If you cut this straight, you'll have a graduation. It'll be short going to long. So your body moves according to what you're cutting. I'm just gonna move her, comb this straight down. This is my guide. Comb, these are closed, guides this down. I see my guide, I'm facing the round of the head, following that line. I'm gonna move towards her, comb this down, no tension, so we're not crab clawing it and trying to manipulate the hair. Very important, there's no tension if there's any kind of curl or wave. She has a slight wave, you can see as it's drying, this little bend. If you put tension on curly hair like this and then cut it, it's going to not only shrink up, but it'll all be uneven. So for this cut, we're just cutting with no tension, following the head shape, because again, the head is round, not square. We're cutting a square cut, but we need to be mindful that the head is round. So this is a square 1 length. A round 1 length, think of like a bowl cut. This part right here is your guide for this entire haircut. So this is where you're gonna wanna take a step back, make sure she's looking straight, take 2 pieces of hair, hold tension, and check for balance. Does this feel even? Remember, we can't just look at it and see if it's even like this because it has a slight curl pattern. So you wanna feel, is this even? So let's recap on what we've just done. We're doing a square 1 length, meaning all our lines are going to be straight. This is not a Squid Games tattoo. It's the 3 forms of hair cutting. You can either have a square, circle, or round, triangular haircut. We're doing square. We're using very straight lines. The person is always looking straight, shoulders back, looking straight. No matter what our natural part line was in the front, we're directly down the center in the back. Remember, we put a dot on the back of the neck. Our first subsection was the width of the comb twice. So we took the comb and did this twice because it goes skinny to long. That's the only time we're gonna do that. And we did horizontal subsections. We took the hair straight down and cut it horizontal, parallel to the floor. There was no swinging it this way, swinging it that way. It was straight down, and our body is moving around the person to avoid the over direction. Now we're gonna take the width of the comb just 1 time and make our next subsection. Everything's gonna be directed down. So that's gonna look like this, horizontal. You should be able to see your guide through that. Can you see it? We're gonna repeat what we just did. So we're combing it straight down where it lives. Scissors are closed, going behind, starting in the middle, and we're cutting against the guide. And against means you're cutting right there with it. You're not cutting below it, and you're certainly not cutting above it because you'll have a graduation or a stack. Comb the hair straight down, connecting the line. Match the other side. I see my guide, I'm cutting against it. Moving my body. We're bringing in some new hair. Following my comb. My comb is parallel to the floor, cutting position parallel to the floor also. And I'm constantly checking this. This is a haircut where if you make a mistake, that's okay, but you need to get it directly when it happens instead of all the way at the top, because then you'll have to repeat this whole thing. Moving up the head, same thing, the width of my comb, horizontal subsection. Comb this straight down, match the other side. See how we have a straight line? It's following the curvature of the head. I'm doing a terrible job at this. But your subsections are clean, straight. So I'm combing straight, I'm cutting straight. Make sure it's wet. You always want to cut hair at the same, what's the word? Not consistency. I don't know, but if it's fully wet, it needs to be wet. If it's kind of half dry, it needs to stay half dry. My body position is here. I'm directly in front. She's facing forward. No tension. Taking the comb, these are closed. Dragging it down. In the middle, cutting against, not below, not above, against the guide. Moving my body, in this case I'm moving her a bit so I can be directly in front of what I'm cutting. Straight down, cut. We're adding new hair, you're just playing connect the dots. Cut. Make sure you're moving your body and we're checking what does this look like. We're gonna repeat the steps, width of the comb, here. This is where we're going to start connecting in the front. Continue this line with our front section. Let's match this other side, connecting this line. So you should have what looks like a horseshoe. Remember the back? We're here, we're starting to get above the ear. We're gonna have new hair. This is the front coming in. Remember our big section is here. When we balance the comb, where the comb sits, horizontal line, horizontal line, horizontal line, connect the dots, connect the dots. But they'll start to look like a horseshoe, if that makes sense. It's still horizontal, it's just following the curvature of the head. We're repeating ourselves, starting in the middle. Shears are closed. Using it to guide down, I should be standing directly in front of it. I'm gonna move a little bit so you can see, cutting against the guide. We're starting to get into some new hair. Connect the dots. Here we have an ear. Even though she doesn't really have much of an ear, we want to release tension to allow for that ear. If you've ever had a haircut that had a hole in it, this is the side of the face here. Here's the ear. Most people's ears stick out. If the hairdresser doesn't release tension here, bounce it up. I'll show you how to do in a minute. What will happen is this haircut will end up looking like this. That's very dramatic, but it'll have a hole here. When you release tension, allow for that ear, it'll be straight. So on this cut and every cut, don't forget that we have ears. What that looks like. Taking your shears, going behind, and you're doing a bounce. Bounce, bounce. So when we dry this, you won't have a hole. We're getting into new hair here. We want to make sure we keep this line straight. She has ears, bounce, bounce. Taking a minute and checking for balance. It's easier to fix it right here than to keep going. This side feels a little bit long, so I've made a mistake somewhere. And it looks like I've just released too much tension on the ear. So let me just cut a little bit off. Now we're gonna keep going. Width of the comb. Follow this, following the head, it's round. This should be getting pretty skinny. We're on the side here, add that in. This is the middle of the head, the back. Comb against the guide. This is where the ear is, bump it up. The back section we put down, and you wanna kind of go through and do this. See where the hair is gonna fall. Section off the front. We'll connect it with that back subsection. Comb, cut against the guide. Comb, horizontal against the guide. Same thing, we've got the ear. Take down another section, kind of looks like a horseshoe, half horseshoe. Cut it where it lives. We're not moving, we're not manipulating the hair. Only thing that changes here when the hair starts to touch the face, we're gonna take a finger and move it at the brow bone, slightly move it over. That's gonna ensure these stay the same length. And I think we have, yes, we'll have one more skinny section. Comb it, and I like to kind of rough it up, see where it lives. And there's just a few hairs, so you can just go at it like that. We're at the brow bone. Move it over. Same thing over here. See where this is falling? Over, connect the dots. Well, connect the dots or the line. Comb it down, move it over. Sorry, it's loud in here, it's getting busy. Connect the lines. I just used a Denman brush, well this is a knockoff from Temu, to blow dry your hair, kind of beveled it under a little bit. So you can see it's a horizontal line. It's a very square, straight line. And it's a heavy line. This is really good for people who have fine or thin hair. Like I use this cut for myself because it creates an illusion that there's more hair. That weight line makes it look thicker. I think one of these is kind of longer, yes. But here's where you would create layers if you wanted to. And same thing for the back, it's just a straight line. While it's dry here, I should have flat ironed this straight. You can kind of go through, check. I've got a few straggly hairs.